have these x-rays and I see these shotgun pellets that are lodged in my head. And then I tell myself, it could have been much worse. I could have been paralyzed. I could have been brain dead. I could have been killed.
Tell me a little bit about February 14th, 2018.
Yeah, so on February 14th, I was at Northern Illinois University. I was at the 10-year memorial of the mass shooting that happened there just 10 years prior on February 14th, 2008. And I was with a lot of the victims, the family members that were affected by that mass shooting, and we were in there just getting ready to lay our memorial wreaths on our classmates' memorials when all of a sudden news broke out about a shooting happening down in Florida, and that was the Parkland shooting at Douglas High School. And the looks on people's faces when that happened, we were just in awe, we just couldn't believe it. Just terrible. Anytime a mass shooting happens, it rips open those wounds, and everything comes back, and it's been very difficult. I still have PTSD 10 years later. If I hear a loud noise, I'll still look for exits. I still have shotgun pellets in the back of my head and in my arm. When it gets really cold outside, I feel a little bit of pain right here in the back of my head, and it's just something that I think I have to live with the rest of my life. 2 months after the shooting at NIU was Virginia Tech's one-year memorial, and they invited the injured victims from NIU out to Virginia Tech. And that's what helped me the most, was speaking to them. These are people that understand what I went through. They went through the same thing that I did, and having that strong bond with them is what helped me the most. And they gave us advice. They said, ours happened a year ago, but this is what it's gonna be like. Seek counseling if you need it. Always talk to someone. Don't live in fear. And I met one of the victims there, Christina. She was shot and survived. Her and Heather Martin, she was a victim of the Columbine shooting. They both started a Facebook group together shortly after Sandy Hook for mass shooting victims. And they had invited all of their victims from Columbine, Virginia Tech, invited people from Aurora, from all the shootings that had happened since their shootings. And when I had joined the group, shortly after Sandy Hook, there were about 200 members, and now there's close to 1,000.
It's amazing to see people all over the country, survivors, organize and keep in touch with one another. But it's a shame that the group keeps growing.
Virginia Tech thought theirs were the last. Columbine thought theirs would be the last. And between Columbine and Virginia Tech, there weren't a lot of as many mass shootings as there have been in the last 10 years. It's just grown tremendously. And now we get together saying, we don't say, oh, we thought ours was gonna be the last one. We say, when's the next one gonna happen? Like, it's just, I thought Parkland was gonna be the last one, and then the Santa Fe, Texas one happened. I just feel like it's a part of me now, after going through what I went through. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what else I can do.
When you first reached out over social media, it kind of took our breath away. In some ways, as an elected official, you feel powerless because you just keep seeing it happen. The same cycle repeat, and then you're sort of waiting for the next one. And it seems like no matter what happens, how big the event is, money and the NRA seems to win the day. And I'm sorry for that.
Thank you. I think it's about money and what the gun manufacturers want them to do. I just don't see any other reasons. And I know there's some NRA members that want to do something that said, I agree with expanding background checks. I agree, we don't need those kind of weapons. So as long as I get to own my gun in my home, my handgun, to protect myself, I'm fine. I always tell people that in my classroom of 150, there were only 5 deaths because he only had a shotgun and several handguns. If he had the type of gun that was used in Sandy Hook or used in Vegas where 500 people were shot, where he could just keep shooting and shooting, I don't think I would be here today. I think many more of my classmates would have been killed, and it just scares me to think about that. I don't want what happened to me to happen to anyone else. I don't want anyone else to go through that. 10 years later, I'm still having effects. Talking to students from Columbine, 20 years later, they're still having effects. We need to fix our background check system. We need to fix our laws. We need to do something that's right for everyone.
Patrick, thank you for sharing your experience with us. It's been an honor.
Of course, thank you.